My name is Marvin Baker. My spiritual name is Arjuna. I live in the New Dharma community in Washoe Valley since June 13th, 2012. I'm a house manager, and part of the New Dharma's building and grounds crew that's responsible to maintain the 4 houses here in Washoe Valley. When I first met Sat Shree, I was going through a very difficult time in my life. The real estate market had exploded and property values were skyrocketing and then quickly sank. My house went from having equity into large debt. On top of that, I was fired from my job I had worked for 8 years after relocating with the company from Orange County to Reno, Nevada. My options were quickly running out. It was during this time that I found Sat Shree. A mutual friend arranged for a meeting with me and Sat Shree. I met Sat Shree in his remote office, Starbucks. When I entered Starbucks, I looked around and I saw a gentleman who looked to me like Jesus. Long hair, mustache, and glasses. Well, almost like Jesus. When I walked over to the table and said, Siddhartha, that was his name, his guru, Sri Atmananda had given to him. He smiled and looked up and said, yes. And we shook hands and I sat down. And that fateful day just changed my whole life. There was something about Sat Shree that I felt totally and completely trust and confident in. Before we parted company, Sat Shree had given me Sri Atmananda's the Bhagavad Gita and invited me to come to his house in Washoe Valley the following Monday for a 90-minute meditation with he and his wife. That one visit at their house grew into me coming out every Monday after I got off work, staying Monday through Wednesday midday. The days were filled when he wasn't in samadhi. We would wake up, we would chant the Bhagavad Gita, alternate verses from a chapter, do also mantras as well as meditation. And then later in the day we would gather, again if he wasn't in samadhi, and then would hike the backcountry. And those really help build more trust and confidence in having Sat Shree as my guru and teacher.
All right. Very good.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
I had a beginner's restless mind when it came to the daily sittings, and it became a challenge when I would leave their house and go home and continue the twice daily practice. My ego tried to influence it, saying it really wasn't necessary. But over time and patience, I was able to do that twice daily sittings. And it was during one of my hikes in Washoe Valley with Sat Shree that I was at dire straits again in my life. My roommate had given me 6 months' notice that I needed to find another place to stay. I had scheduled a hike with Sat Shree, and during the hike I was overcome with despair and broke down crying. Sat Shree asked what's going on, and I explained that my roommate the day before had given me 6 months' notice to find a new place. Sat Shree told me, well, New Dharma has just rented their first house in Washoe Valley. We're looking for housemates. After our hike, go check it out. It's 6 bedrooms and let me know if it'll work. Well, after our hike, I immediately went over there and met Jason, who was the first devotee into the house, and he showed me the downstairs bedrooms, and I quickly found a room that resonated with me and that became my home for the next 3 years. With Sat Shree's teachings, mentoring, and guidance, I have found within myself more peace, more love, and more spaciousness. I'm growing in my capacity to hold and be with my inner chaos and challenges of going into overwhelm when I contact and close down, learning to take pauses, not to react to people I interact with, and hold what is arising within myself. This greatly assisted me in expanding my capacity to be with and hold what feels in the moment as chaos and unmanageability. I have an interesting relationship with seva. I was living in a house with Sat Shree. He was a roommate, and we had several others, and I was the house manager. And I used to get upset with people who leave things in the sink. They wouldn't clean up properly after themselves, in my opinion. So I asked him for guidance with that, and he goes, well, there's 2 ways you can hold it. You can hold it for the bigger picture and just look at it as seva. And you can also, if you see it as a habit, help call them up to their higher authority on being responsible. So once I reframed everything into seva, my whole life changed as far as my attitude as a house manager, because if I was the one that had the issue with it, I needed to take care of it, and that would be clean the dishes. Now, if there was a habit of this going on, I would friendly and kindly remind the person of the situation. But most of the time, I was the solution as well as the problem. I was the one where the issue was arising. So I take that in all the things that I do now is, if there is a pattern, I'll address it with the person. But at the same time, it's an opportunity to hold it in a much more loving way, an understanding, compassionate way, both with myself and the person that may have left the dishes behind. When I have a guru, there is a tendency at times to project your parents onto the guru and the guru's wife, mother and dad. And there was a time when I felt I had done that and was able to see that. So what I've done is taken my personal power back. And then I guess some of the value in the teachings is that coming in and connecting with my heart, finding my guidance within, trusting what my inner guidance gives me. And then, I mean, like for me, this part of the teachings we've all learned and heard, empty head, open heart, relaxed body. When I'm able to do that, I can fall into my divinity and enlightenment and feel peace, spaciousness, and a calmness. And whatever was troubling and arising before seems to fall by the wayside. And I have a better perspective on it than prior to that. So for me, the practice is becoming more and more throughout the day is pause and ask myself, am I making a conscious choice or I am on automatic and habit? It'd be equivalent to having the rubber band on your wrist and every 30 minutes an alarm goes off and you snap it. But I try to do self-remembrance without that. And throughout the day and everything I do, take the pause, connect with my heart, and ask, am I making conscious choices or I'm on automatic? And I'm able to see more clearly and hold in a bigger container that stuff that's rising within me that might be classified as an irritant. It's a reflection of also the collective consciousness. So I'm working two issues here. I'm working my issue and the collective consciousness. And when I hold it in that context, it gives me more space and I don't take it as personal. It's like, oh, okay, this is something to meet, another opportunity. I'm not always in that space, and it's not always that easy, but that's what I strive for. Yeah. You'll have to forgive me, but being in this community with people that hold us when we're in these spaces of challenging, words can't describe the gratitude, love, and appreciation. When you have some people that are sharing similar experiences, and even if they're not, just the love and the support that we have here, both with Sat Shree, Satyamai, and all the residents and guests in the community. There's just a circling up and support of everyone going through whatever they are with a lot of love and compassion. Well, it's been an honor and a privilege to do this, and hopefully maybe one or two people that watch this can relate. Thank you so much. Namaste.